Well, good evening. Praise the Lord. God bless everyone. Another magnificent Monday. And as we often say, it's a magnificent Monday because we had such a magnificent Sunday. We're living in the overflow, enjoying the residue, what God, or we could say the remnant, what God has blessed us with on yesterday. And so we just took some of that goodness, brought it into today, and we are excited about it, and we thanking the Lord for it. So listen, y'all, come on in, come on in. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting, and we're thanking God for you. And we're live, and we're going to be dealing with a new topic on today. It's a simple title, but it's loaded with information, and you're going to see as we get started. We're going to be talking about self-esteem, and it's going to lead us into what God says about us. And so, or better yet, what God wants us to think about ourselves. So we're going to be dealing with that, and so we thank you for chiming in. So keep coming in. Let's get ready to have us a good time. Let's get ready to get smarter and move forward. So again, we're thanking God for you. And as you're coming in, please hit that share button. As we often say, when you share, it proves you care. And if you care, you're going to share. So hit that share button. Praise God. And we're thanking God for you. And again, we're appreciating you. One of the things that I love about us is we're concerned about everybody's well-being. When we talk about health, we're not just talking about for the body, but we want you to be healthy mentally, emotionally. We want you to be healthy financially. So we're talking overall health. And so wanted to throw that out there. T, God bless you, man.
Yes, Father. Hey, thank y'all so much for joining. I hope you're ready for today's topic. Now, Facebook just gave us a little notification saying that not everybody's comments going to show in. It may say Facebook users, but we're going to do our best to work around that. But again, thank y'all for joining us today. And please, y'all, not just don't share us on Facebook. Please go to YouTube, share us. If you haven't even subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to that YouTube channel.
All right, yeah, we appreciate it, and then hit the share button. Remember to hit the share button. So again, our topic today is going to be self-esteem. How you feel about yourself. And we'll go a little deeper a little later when we get to talking about appearance. What is it about you, me, that we don't like? And if we don't like it, can we change it? But we'll deal with that a little later. I'm thanking God for all of you all that are on. But we're going to talk about self-esteem. What is stopping you from being as confident in yourself as you should be, or if that's not an issue with you, you can help all of us, all the rest of us, get to where you are. So we'll start off by saying when we deal with self-esteem, we want to talk about how do you feel about yourself, and how. Let me break it down like this so it could be possibly a little clearer for you. One of the definitions of self-esteem is confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So confidence. So how confident are you in yourself for real now? And how confident are you in your God? The word confidence or self-esteem simply means it's a feeling of security and capability in oneself or someone else, which we know is God, and their abilities. So how confident are you in yourself and your abilities overall, and how secure are you in God and his capacity or capabilities. So when we talk about self-esteem, that's what we're saying. We're talking about confidence. Now remember, we're going to talk about this a little later. I think it's Hebrews 10 and 23. I'm sorry, 10:35. He says, cast not therefore away your confidence, because it has great recompense of reward, the scriptures say. And that word recompense is like, this is what rewards you. Your confidence is what rewards you in God and in life. And so we need to see, how do you feel about your self-esteem or your confidence in yourself, and your confidence in your God. And I want you to really think about your answer before you give it to us. Are you confident in your abilities? Are you confident and secure in the abilities of God? And so that's where we are today. That's where we're going. All right, y'all, let's get smarter. Let's address this, and let's talk about it. I'm ready to get smarter. So again, I don't have all the answers. None of us do. But I know with the help of God, we all can, as we used to say as children, add our 2 cents in and see what it adds up to. All right, AT, anything you want to say
Oh,
about this?
so pretty much, he's like, are you confident in your abilities, and are you confident in God? That's pretty much the question you're asking.
And keeping in mind, self-esteem and confidence are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're saying we have confidence or self-esteem, we're talking about this feeling of security and capability of our God towards us, and us having the capability and confidence, excuse me, and security in our own God-given abilities. So how do you feel about you and what it is that you can do when you put your best foot forward? And how do you feel about what God can do?
Honestly, one and foremost, I have the utmost confidence in God, because I always believe that God will give us a little taste to like we're close to our goal. But I can't give. I guess depending on your journey or your travels, I feel like He will give you a little taste of it. Like, hey, here you go. It's not like I'm not dangling in front of you, but it's right here. Now, in myself, I'm human. I sometimes I do like I do have confidence in me, but sometimes that other side be like, oh, come on, like you doing the exact same thing. Because this happened to me before when I'm doing like a video or an edit, or when I'm trying to write something down. That voice, because we can't put everything on the devil.
That's right.
But that little nagging voice in me is like, oh, they doing it too. But guess what? They're doing a whole lot better than you do. So that do kind of weigh on me a little bit. It's like, man, why am I doing this for now?
Well, you said a very powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're human,
mm-hmm.
and we all have these little voices
mm-hmm.
in our head, and most of the time, the little voices are negative. And you don't see it much now, but if you remember years ago, they would show these little cartoons, or then something, or either it would be people, and they'll be sitting down, and they'll have like the devil on one side talking to them. Then they have an angel on the other side talking, and most of the time they would kick the devil that was on whatever side he was on. They'd kick him off, and I always thought that was a little funny, but it's a little reality to that, and one of the things that I strive on with myself is my self-talk. What do my self-talk say about myself? And self-talk is really nothing but your self-esteem, your opinion
mm-hmm.
of yourself. And what is your honest opinion of yourself? Again, we're experiencing some technical difficulties. We can see some of your names and comments, and I'll allow Terrence in just a minute. He's checking everything out to let us know if we're getting all the comments we need to get or not. But in the meantime, I need you all to I need you to run it by me, because I know you usually being responded by now, and I don't see any responses. So while we're doing that, Prayerfully, you can hear me. Can someone tell me, just talk back to me, you that are on the line, to let me know that you hear me clearly?
But I mean, as we wait, again, like we don't, as Bishop said earlier, we don't have all the answers. We just straight talking with one another, and we're not here to judge you. But like if you have questions, we do our best to answer. Not just us, but anybody in the comments.
Yeah. Hey, I'm wondering if they hear me.
Yeah, they do because I check.
Oh, you check. Okay. All right. So we need to know that anytime I come around you, okay, thank you, daughter, cousin. Anytime I come around you or you come around me, like for instance, now I'm in Terrence's presence. When you're in the presence of someone, you should leave them happier than they were before you got there, or at peace. You should leave them with something like that. And they should be the same way. It's a two-way street. You know, you should be like, wow, that was a fruitful visit, or fruitful conversation, fruitful phone call, fruitful Texas. Texas sound like the state of Texas, no, Texts. But it was fruitful. It was productive.
Right.
You know, you always want your presence. Thank you all for responding that you could hear me. You always want you always want a positive response from people. You're not going to always get it, but you want to do your best to make sure that you left them happier, or you left them better. You left them with some information. We don't always want to leave people, and there's unresolved conflict, or there's nothing fruitful about our visit or conversation with them. All right, so I wanted to run that by you, and then you got to know what matter, what's important, and prioritize it. These are things that help build our self-esteem. But what I want to do before we go much further, I really want to talk about some of the causes of low self-esteem, some of the causes of it, and anybody can chime in whenever you get ready. But we want to talk about what are some of the causes of low self-esteem. And I know some of them, or one of them is depression. That's one of the causes. Another cause of it is negative talk, especially from childhood until you got grown. Till you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, it's like another thing is too. I know depression is one of that go hand in hand with low self-esteem, because sometimes people, as they get older, they still can't get over that.
That's right. And so if it's depression, and it is, in the medical term, they call it a disorder. You know, they call it's a disorder. It's something that is not functioning properly. But if depression is causing low self-esteem, then I got to find out, what am I depressed about? What's making me be depressed? And one of the things, I mean, and usually depression. Okay, I see some. We got some responses.
I got some. I got you. I did that so everybody else can see, just in case. But Kenya Lundy said various types of abuse.
Yeah, various types of abuse. All right. So that can cause both depression and low self-esteem. Thank you for that, daughter. Absolutely right. See, the reason I want to find the cause, unless all of you are batting 100 when it comes to self-esteem and confidence, then you really need to be talking to us. But I like to find the cause, because you can't cure something if you don't find the cause. You got to know what's causing something, and now I can work on an antidote. or I can prescribe you something, or you can prescribe me something. But if I don't know what you're suffering with or what you're dealing with, then we don't know what to prescribe you. We can't come up with a solution. So thank you for that, daughter, daughter Kenya. I appreciate that. And anyone else want to give us is okay? What else we got?
Cousin Keisha says being raised in a negative speaking, and she also go on to say afraid to get things wrong due to criticism.
That is
that's
powerful.
That's
wow, that is powerful. Thank you for that, daughter, cousin Keisha. Go ahead, T. If you want
to. Because again, that's another thing. Because a lot of times, especially with this day and age now, people are afraid of criticisms, and depending on who they are, they can just. Let me say it like this, because sometimes when people criticize you, there are some people who are genuinely being mean just for the sake of being mean. Yeah. But there are those who criticize, or as they say, do constructive criticism, who want to see you do better. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's up to us to what's one I want to use?
Decipher.
Yes. Decipher which one is good. A lot of times, again, you will have some genuine people out there. Sometimes but sometimes people can't take either or. Because they've been
to say that,
because they dealt with it so much, and they don't know how to really take it in. Like, oh, you just judge me. So no, we're not judging. I want you to do better. With your work,
man. You're that is so powerful, T. Because what happens is, like Keisha was saying, if you're growing up and all the chatter is negative, well, you got this defense mechanism built up, and anytime you hear anything negative about you, it can automatically make them mechanism, them antennas, guardrails. They can immediately go up. And the sad part about that, sometimes it can be constructive. Yeah, it can be to make you better. But if we're not, let me say it like this. Sometimes you can be so emotionally, mentally, and spiritually damaged.
Yes, sir.
Until it's hard to decipher if this person is being constructive or are they just being negative,
Yeah.
And really, and that's why we have to make sure words have power. I know in my generation we were never taught the power of words. If we would, a lot of stuff we said we wouldn't have said. Matter of fact, when I was coming up, we heard things like sticks and stones may break your bones, but words would never hurt me. And I quoted that growing up too many times to even try to count it. But we found out that words can do damage sometimes more than physical stuff, physical abuse. And I like what daughter Kenya said. She was saying various types of abuse.
It's not just one.
And so we want to work on that today. We got some more comments.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. Sister Marcinda says you have to love yourself and even tell yourself that you are loved. That's low self-esteem if you don't.
Okay.
If you don't pretty much
and that's to encourage yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, daughter. You're absolutely right. You gotta think well of yourself in order for other people to think well of you. You have to respect yourself in order for other people to respect you. They may not like you, but they'll respect you. Yeah. All right, what else we got?
We got from Kenya again. It said people who criticize and cast doubt can be very victimized also. Remember, hurt people. Yeah. And I agree with that too, because sometimes they're hurting, but if I hurt, I should let someone else be hurting.
Yeah.
And and it's sad that they do that just so that's what they can deal. Like, I want to say they if I can lash out hurt, that can make me feel better. Because somebody else is hurting just like me.
Wow, ain't that something?
Yeah. It's like Misery Loves Company.
Yeah.
And that's still the sad case.
Yeah. That is really good. Misery Loves Company. That's a good way to sum it up. And she says people who criticize you. Read that part again.
Mm-hmm. She says again, people who criticize, cast doubt can be very well victimized also. Remember, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, and I like what she's saying. That's who they are. Mm-hmm. When I was in the insurance business, I'd go in the office sometime, and my manager would just for no reason at all, sometimes just jump on me. You know, what's this? What's that? I mean, he would just jump on me, and I was so offended one day. I just called him aside and said, "Hey, man," I say, first of all, I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong that you're talking about publicly. I mean, he's talking in the whole staff, and I said, second of all, you know, I'm a grown man. Talk to me. You ain't got to yell at me. I have a good understanding. Talk to me. Yeah. I'll get it, and I'll change whatever needs to be changed. But I said, don't be yelling at me. And my point of emphasis is, some people do that because of your disposition or your posture, the way you carry yourself.
Your positivity.
They'll attack you. No, what I mean by sometimes, like for instance, me and you, we have a happy-go-lucky, always joyous personality, and it's like we won't bust a grape in a wine factory. And a lot of times, people that see people like that, they'll take their meekness and treat it as weakness.
Yeah,
and they'll just blast you, and unnecessarily. So, but you show your wisdom and your understanding and your maturity by how you handle it. And thanks be unto God that I called him aside after we had that chat. I never had another issue, another problem with him about that going forward. But again, as daughter Kenya said, hurt people hurt people. So you want to make sure when you're hurting that you don't respond out of your hurt emotions. Right. So all right. What else we got going
on? Trinity, the topic is talk about what causes low self-esteem. Yeah. But I want to add,
and we want to get a cure for it.
I want to add too, Bishop, because I just had a flashback my time doing that Popeyes, and they was really trying to break me. You saw the days when I came in during my final days of it, because like they will literally try to make you hurt or try to break you down. Because even the district manager, who I thought at that time was a nice dude, but I kind of found out he wasn't, because he would just come at me. I'm like, and I was like, okay. So the time I actually had a nice conversation with him, for a while he backed off, but he just kept trying. And that's a lot of times they want to do. Sometimes they just want to break you.
Trying to break you. Absolutely. And that's again where your understanding, your maturity comes in at. And you learn how to deal with things that matter, and what doesn't matter, don't make it matter.
Yeah.
If it does not need to matter, you don't want to make something matter that doesn't need to matter. All right, what else we got, T?
We got from Cousin Keisha. She says, we as people hold on to negative and makes it hard to speak well of yourself. I had to tell my students, when I work with kids, tell me 5 bad things about themselves at a time. Then I tell them to say 5 good things about themselves and time it. It took them longer for them to say the good things.
Wow. Okay, well, and so I guess it took them.
It took like I think she's saying they quickly mentioned 5 bad things.
They just ran that right off the bat.
Down, but it's hard for them to say the good things.
So that's a good indicator that evidently they weren't being told a lot of
good things. That's really what it is.
Yeah. So it's really important that we realize that words matter. Our words matter. They matter to what we say to other people, and it matter what we say to ourselves.
Yep.
It really does matter. All right, what else we got here, T?
We got from Sister Marcinda. She says, I have family members who told me what I can't do. So of course I proved them wrong. Don't let people tell you that you can't do something. Talk low self-esteem. We can do all things in Christ.
That's right. Absolutely.
And she added reverse psychology.
I like that. Good word. That's a good word, Marcinda. Thank you for that, daughter. All right, what else we got going on here?
Sister Kenya comes with us. Ooh, I went high pitch for no reason. Sister Kenya said, some of these things are passed down from one generation to the next.
Yeah.
If we can learn how to break some of the staminas we place on ourselves, then we can get help to break these chains.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I also believe talking to people is also good. Mm-hmm. Again, once again, go back to your circle, who you have in your immediate circle.
Right.
whether it's friends or family you want to talk to about certain topics.
Yeah, and the circle plays a whole lot, but Kenya is absolutely right. Some of that stuff is inherited,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's really great power in inheritance. And I like the word that all of them are using, Marcinda and daughter Kenya. They both like break those chains, because that's what they can become. And again, when I was in the insurance business, when I would take an application out on someone, I would be like, anyone in your family had XYZ, and and I had a list of health questions that I had to ask, and I would ask it in the family, which means your parents, your siblings, so forth and so on. And because they knew that a lot of physical conditions, especially with Black people, they inherited them. So you think about that and flip that. If we can inherit, and a lot of times, if I inherit something my dad did, I'm just using as an example. Excuse me, I probably like if just say if I inherited some kind of health issue, where I probably was eating what he was eating, because by me being in his house, what he cooked, or my mom cooked, they both cooked, I ate it. And so if I'm eating unhealthy food and they're unhealthy, guess what's going to go on in my life? But I can break those chains, as Kenya was saying, by number one, doing inventory on myself, checking myself, concentrating on me, so I won't have time to concentrate on no one else. Getting rid of my hurt and my pain, so if I'm talking to someone else, I can help them and not hurt them. But as long as I'm hurt, I'm gonna the potential to hurt someone else is in me. So remember now, we're talking about the security of your abilities that God has given you, and the security that you have in the ability of God. This is how we're going to make it, y'all. This is how we're going to make it. You're going to have this confidence, this self-esteem in yourself, and more importantly, in your God. All right, what else we got going on?
Cousin Keisha come with us saying, I told my students to look in the mirror every day and say 5 good things about themselves.
That's good.
You can tell the ones who did it because their behavior changed. She also add, I agree, generational negativity.
Yeah. It's really sad, but it's true. I mean, and I want to put emphasis on that. Generational negativity. It's sad, but it's true. And I like what Marcinda said also when she was talking about, talking to yourself, because you think about it. When we get ready to do anything, we don't give some things thought. We just do it. Like, you get up in the morning, you shower, or whatever, you just do it. But you tell yourself, you train yourself, you have the habit of doing that. You get in your car, you take off, put your seatbelt on. But think of, this is the point I'm making. You tell yourself to do all these things, and it become habitual until you forget that you're telling yourself to do this. The point I'm making it is, we talk to ourselves all the time, and some things are just highlighted bigger than others. The more extreme the task, the more we talk to ourselves, and we start telling ourselves, no, you got to do it like this and do it like that. And like a woman I know, when Pastor used to sew a lot, and she kept her sewing machine. Well, she had a pattern that she had to follow, a paradigm. She had to follow it if she wanted the project or the product to come out the way that she had set it up to be. And so that's the way we are in life. We got to have a paradigm. We got to have a pattern. And so think about it. You only really think about what you're saying to yourself if it's something really, really, really important to you. But buckling your seatbelt and your car starting, those are some very important things also. But we just do that without thought. But you tell yourself to do that. So when we get ready to do something, like for instance, you may say, you know what, Terrence need $200. Well, I ain't got the 200. I ain't getting him no $200. You have a conversation with yourself. I'm just trying to make a point. You say, well, I'll give him 50. And you do it. But you think about it. When there's an investment involved, you think about it. You look at all of the pros and cons of that investment, and you're thinking about it. And sometimes we do not do stuff because we're scared, and we may cover the fear up with they just trying to take advantage of me, or they just trying to take my money. No, you're scared. And you just got to admit that you're scared, or you got to admit that I'm walking in a level or my lifestyle is not allowing me to get over here. And here's the sad part. We've gotten comfortable with this lifestyle, and now there are no more challenges. And when you don't have challenges, baby, you can't grow. You can't be promoted when you're not challenged. So you got to work on building up your self-esteem. We got to get rid of low self-esteem. All right, Bishop, God bless you. So good to hear from you. Always good, my friend. Thank God for you and appreciate you much. And we can use some of your wisdom. So we're talking about low self-esteem, some of the causes of it, and we need some cures. We need some cures because really, saints of God are really in a low self-esteem area. But as we're challenged, think about this, y'all. And Tia, we're going to get some comments before they all get going. So think about this. David was a shepherd boy, but his purpose was to become king. He couldn't make it to the kingdom without challenges. He was challenged by lions and bears that we know of as far as the animals. He was challenged by men. He was challenged by Goliath. He was challenged by Saul. But if he would have never moved out of the area where he was at to accept a challenge, he couldn't grow. If you don't accept challenges, you're never going to grow. If you're comfortable where you are, you should never be comfortable. You should be content. Because when you're comfortable, you're saying, leave me alone. I'm not trying to go any further. I'm not trying to get any higher. I'm not trying to do any better. I'm comfortable. So leave me alone. Go mess with somebody else. But when you're content, better is coming. You can do better. You can be better. And so you're going to come out of that comfort zone, and you're going to accept challenges so that you can move forward in God. All right, what do we got here, T?
Kenya says, my mother was abused by her father. Then she married a man who abused her, which I witnessed. Then I turned married a man who abused me.
Wow.
We're divorced. Excuse me.
Wow.
That's what I mean by generational curse.
Yeah.
But God help me.
Hallelujah. That's real good, daughter. And so there's experience talking about how you can fall into low self-esteem. See, we become a product of what we see many times. And we will repeat what we see, especially when we're not really conscious of what we're seeing is not right. And you can fall into the same, or it can be passed down, as daughter Kenya said. All right, thank you for that. That now again, that's a call. So now, who are you looking at? Who are you, for lack of a better term, unconsciously patterning yourself after? Okay, what else we got, T?
From Sister Lena, she says, fear has branches.
Wow.
Low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and doubt.
Wow.
That's probably just only the tip of that iceberg. There's probably a lot. Again, I'm sure there's probably more of what also causes that. But that's really some of the stuff. Like definitely fear definitely plays a part.
Absolutely. And when we really think about God's word, God said, I have not given you the spirit of fear. So fear is a spirit, and it didn't come from God. And it's amazing how we sort of camouflage or cover it up with, oh, that don't make sense, or whatever the unacceptable excuse is, when it's really nothing but fear. I don't need that. I don't want to try that. No, you're fearful. And you think when you think about that, and many times, well, not many times, but there were times in the Bible where Jesus rebuked his disciples and said, "Why were you so fearful?" And because, as Lena stated, it's like branches to it. I mean, it comes from all different angles, and if we're not careful, one of those branches or one of them angles is going to grab us. So we got to be aware of who we are, where we are, and why we're not moving the way that we should be moving in God and in life. All right, what else we got, T?
Cousin Keisha come back saying, I'm undoing. Well, I'm asking God to help me undo a lot of things that I was used to do, but was not tell me what this word is. CON conducive.
Conducive.
Okay, all right, here we go. I got it. To my confidence in myself, I have the utmost confidence in God, which is helping me build confidence in myself.
Yeah, and again, I some of the things that we've got trapped by was unconscious, and then we just get used to it, and we live with it. We live with stuff we don't have to live with. We tolerate and allow stuff that we don't have to tolerate and allow. And so I love what Keisha is saying. She's saying, like, I'm undoing some stuff. I'm unlearning to relearn. If we do not do consistent self-evaluation and honesty, I was praying this morning and I was asking God to lead me. Certain things going on. I need to be led by God. I was saying, God, lead me. And then I say, God, after you lead me and show me what I need to be doing, I said, give me the wherewithal to do what you show me I need to do. Because a lot of people know not to do certain stuff, but they do it anyway. People, kids, grown-ups, they know drugs ain't good for you. They know drinking ain't good. They know it's not good, but they do it anyhow. And so, case being such, you got to ask God for strength. Just say no is good, and words are powerful. And they'll go a long way, but now you need strength to say no. And then you need strength to remove yourself from wherever, whoever you need to move yourself from. Well, as Terrence was saying, your circle. Maybe you need to bust out and break up from that circle. So it's very important that you know what? The key, you know what?
What?
The key to us being successful, the key to us, this is the key. It's simple, so don't miss it. The key to us getting rid of low self-esteem is you got to start now. If you don't start, it ain't gonna never happen. We can sit up here and talk about all the changes that all of us need, but if we do not start, how am I going to make the journey if I never start the journey? At least if I start, now I'm on my way to something. And sometimes we can be so far away from where we need to be, it can be discouraging for us to even start. Or I've been like this, real talk. I've had so much stuff messed up before until I was like, man, where do I start at? Then it was like, shoot, I'm confused. and I really was. But I found out you have to break it up and compartmentalize many stuff. You had to put, like all the tomatoes together, all the cucumbers together. You compartmentalize stuff. What's my priority? Let me deal all these things that are going on. Let me deal with this. And once I get that resolved, now I can go to something else. But I'm telling you, it can be to the point to where it can be so confusing and discouraging until you not only don't know where to start, you just, forget it. I'll stay where I am. Never want to do that. And experience is talking to you now. All right, T, what else we got going on?
We got from Sister Kenya again. She says, you need positive people in your life that help you unpack that baggage of low self-esteem. It's okay to get help. Most importantly, God's help. And you know what? Too, and I think that's another thing too. People also forget about. They think they got to do everything on
Right,
email.
right.
And I get that sometimes you don't want to tell everybody everything, and you kind of close yourself off to that because you don't know how they're going to respond or so on and so forth. But you're like you say, you're never alone because God can help you. God can send the right people to you, and just to help you get past that.
And again, and I'm glad you and Kenya's daughter brought that up, because I was thinking about, I'm an entrepreneur and I got this company that I'm working with now. And once we show people the compensation plan, I always say, now this is your business. You're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to learn how to do when it comes to low self-esteem. We got to get around the right people and know that if I get around the right people, I'm not in this by myself.
Right.
The right people, though, y'all, you want to get around people that's going to tell you the truth about everything to the best of their ability. And then you got to know that everyone doesn't know everything. I've had several times that people have asked me for advice. And it's been several times where I say, I don't know, let me pray and talk to the Lord and I'll get back with you. See, you want someone that's going to be honest and upfront and truthful with you so you can come out of what you're in and become a better person. All right, what else we got, T?
Trinity comes with a saying, low self-esteem is a product of manipulation, like when a person or multiple people call you ugly or stupid and manipulate you into thinking and believing that you are ugly and you are stupid. And that goes back.
Man, that is so good.
It goes to what we were saying earlier, because a lot of times, sometimes people will see they like it's like a predator. It's like I see your weakness. I'm gonna use this weakness to my advantage to get what I want out of you because I know I can do it. And again, as I believe it was the King said it earlier, hurt people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said they're good. It's almost like the old saying, when a shark could sense blood, even when he can't see it, it attracts him to the prey. And when people can sense that you have low self-esteem by your posture or by the way that you talk, your verbiage, it can let them know that. So we gotta work on that. What caused me to do this? Because Trinity brought out a good point. It's a product of a manipulation. When you're around people, they want to manipulate you, and and so they'll do things like a lot of people want to make themselves look better than someone else. So they'll try to belittle other people to make themselves look good. I never liked it that all of my life. I never, that turns me off from political figures. You shouldn't have to make yourself look good by making someone else look bad. And our world today is loaded with people that would do that. And then as Trinity said, I'm telling y'all, that daughter is spot on. People will use that as they'll use your own low self-esteem as manipulation. They'll manipulate you because they know that you don't really respect them, but you just got this low self-esteem. You got this lack of confidence in your abilities and the security that you should have. Everyone should have your own security blanket to where you feel good about yourself. And Marcinda did a very good job talking about that earlier. Your security blanket, you got to feel good about yourself. Of course, you know areas that you need to improve in. It can be physically, it can be spiritually, it can be mentally. Areas, and work on them. But you should have this security about yourself, just like, again, when I was in the insurance business and I would witness to people, I would tell them, I say, I have insurance and I have assurance, and my assurance is that I'm going to heaven, I'm saved. And so you got to have an assurance in your God, and you got to have an assurance about yourself. And then you got to stop looking at everything that's going wrong. That's a big deterrent. That's a knock you out of focus. When you pay too much attention to things that really you can't do anything about. And even if you can't, you probably can, but you can't now. When you look at it and say, look what I done got myself into. All right, you're in it now. You got to find your way out of it. And you can't waste time sulking and feeling sorry for yourself and beating yourself up because life goes on. life goes on. I look at life like I look at basketball. Um, um, Bill Russell retired, Wilt Chamberlain retired, Kobe, Magic, Shaq, Dr. J, they all retired. But they didn't stop playing basketball because they retired. Like life goes on. And so we have to find a way to keep going on. We gotta find a way to do that. All right, we got any more comments?
Yes, Sister Marcinda says, my son said something negative about himself one day, and I had to let him know that he is beautifully and wonderfully made.
That's right.
And again, I like what everybody too much saying in the comments too, like talking about your self confidence, because that it does start with you.
Right.
It start with you.
Absolutely.
Because look, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I'm looking in the mirror. You're successful.
Yeah.
And I don't say it as funny. I just tell myself you're successful. Then it's funny is happy you brought this up, because I kid y'all not. I see myself, and I'm saying it. I'm saying to help give y'all confidence too, because I do it for myself. I literally talk myself in the mirror and interview myself like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? It's funny, but at the same time, there's a lot of celebrities, good celebrities out there that literally done the same thing to get what they get at. And yet,
the reason I'm laughing, because probably the first 2 years I was preaching, that's what I would do.
See,
I get in the mirror, I have my sermon.
Yeah, see,
and I get in there and I preach to myself from the paper that I had, or the message I had put together, and I just did it, and I don't care how crazy it looked.
Yeah.
See, I want to get back and hit one point here. We're going to dive back in. Appreciate it. But when you think about it, you can really look at your life like roses and thorns. You can say, wow, the roses have thorns, or you can say the thorns have roses. Like in other words, all this stuff I'm going through, look what I got. I got these roses as a result of getting stuck by all these thorns. Or you can say, man, this I ain't going after that rose because of all these thorns. I'm tired of getting stuck and whatever. Right. But again, me and Nico was talking earlier today, and I just came up with my own little new thing. We're just talking about, how you got to build up yourself. The Bible tells us that in the book of Titus, Jude, build up your most holy faith. Build up your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Ghost. And so it's important that we do that. And I was just telling Nico, I say, hey, man, I'm a half glass full type of guy. Then I said, no, I'm not. I say my glass almost full. I'm glass half. You gotta know. Think about this, dear hearts. We went. I was talking to one of my high school buddies today, and he brought out a very good point. He said when we were in elementary, we was in an all-black school, and we were both talking about how we thought the teachers were mean, but they knew what we had to face. Now you got to remember, this is early '60s when we're talking about, and we thought they were so mean, but they knew we were going out into this world, and they wanted us to be prepared. They wanted us to be prepared to be called out of our names, et cetera, et cetera. And so he didn't get to finish elementary because his family moved to a predominantly Caucasian district. And he said he had never been called the N-word so much before or since. How they just it tore his esteem, and I didn't know I was gonna say this. It tore him down. But what really got me was he said he, and I did too, we learned more in elementary than we did in junior high. Because I went to they had just started to they had just ended segregation. And so it was everything. It was, you all that are old enough to know, it was a hotbed then. It was terrible. So sometimes we didn't get taught right, and he was just telling me about how, we're just sharing conversations and things of that nature. But what I'm saying is, it really pinned us in. Our learning was limited because the teachers were limited. They weren't necessarily limited, but the information they were giving us was limited information. Right. And so we didn't learn what we should have learned in junior high. As a matter of fact, I didn't get an English class till I got in high school. And so
so did I. Now that I'm really thinking about it, until I got high school, I got English class.
Yeah. So, I didn't think that was fair. I don't know, was that a trend?
Right.
But I didn't think it was fair. But anyway, just remember that fear breeds doubt. And doubt kills more dreams than failure ever have. Stop being scared of failure.
Yep.
Stop being scared of it. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. And I told you before, Michael Jordan said he only made like about 30-something game-winning shots. But he missed over 300. But we don't remember his misses. We remember his makes. After a while, which let me know that your misses ain't bad as you making them seem to be. Yes, so one of the biggest components, one of the biggest things that keep us from moving forward at the pace that God has designed for us to move at is fear. So you got to stop being fearful and stop saying, what if it don't work? Just try something else, try another way. But don't be so scared till you won't move. Now, I'm not talking about foolishness. I'm just talking about making your life better in God. We got to get ready to wrap up. Tita, we got
a couple more comments.
Okay, let's get those.
Sister Marcella say you learn from your failures, anger, and mistakes.
Absolutely. Failures is part of the process of success. What else we got?
Sister Tammy says, I have prayed and speak the word of God over myself daily.
Yes.
Because I was experienced verbal abuse as a child, and I was very fearful.
Wow.
I thank God for the word of this ministry.
Hallelujah.
I think myself happy. I'm sorry. She said, BMC.
Well, praise the Lord. That's a good way to end it. Speak the word over yourself. Say what, we got one more thing. We got to get Kiki.
Oh, yeah.
Say what the word said about you. I talk too much and then let all of them talk. So I got to give y'all space. All right, bless us.
All right, Sister Keita said, I remember when I said I had low self-esteem. I have been hurt more than once, so I can begin to question myself, thinking something was wrong with me.
Wow.
I'm starting thinking I wasn't good enough, pretty enough, or smart enough. Although people would tell me I was all of that, I didn't believe it. I had to stop talking negatively and start saying positive things to and about myself. I had to learn to love myself in spite of what others thought and felt about me. I am beautiful, wonderful, and made favored.
Man, now look at that. Again, that is experience. Hers came from being hurt more than once. And when you get hurt, you're scared to step out of the ship again, so to speak, because you're scared you're going to get hurt again. Mm-hmm. And you're fearful of that. Now, this is what I love. What people started saying about her, because the hurt, the pain, the negativity got there first. Everything they said she was, but it was hard for her to believe it because of the hurt. Man, this is stuff that's really good, y'all. So, but you see how she starts speaking over herself and to herself, same as Tammy. This is what we have to do. I mean, y'all, you got to do it daily. All of these things that we're asking each other to do, we got to do it daily. We got to do it daily because some of us had such negative things happen to us. Abuse was so bad, or we saw something so awful until it was hard for us to really get over it. I mean, it's almost like if somebody tell a lie on you, if they get to the person that have the authority first, then they've already sowed the seed. Now you got to try to undo what they said before you can sow the seed of what really happened. It's the same way in life when verbal or physical abuse. That seed has already been planted, and so now it has to be unplanted. I think it was Marcinda or Keisha. One of them said basically about unlearning to relearn. So good stuff, y'all. I got some really good notes that I want to talk about on next week. I'm going to talk about this a little more. We're going to talk about the cure and which we know obviously is God and his word, but consistency, because we want to be able to go forward. And I'm telling y'all, it's all in my spirit. I'm saturated with it. You're not too old to be what you was designed to be and who you can be. Whatever you thought about being, you're not too old to do it. People that went back to school at 60, 65, I heard a couple people went back even in their 70s and got degrees. So I'm just saying, not too old. Do not allow anyone to make you think you're too old and you didn't miss what you had dreams for in your 20s. Maybe you in your 40s or 50s or 60s, and you had these dreams in your 20s, what you was going to be in your 30s, and you're well out of your 30s. But hey, still can become it. You still can do it. Marcinda quoted the scripture, Philippians 4:19. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. All right, God bless you. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in. I cherish your time. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Please always remember, you can be hearing something from a reliable source, but if they heard a lie and they're telling you the lie they heard, they're no longer reliable. At that point, they're relying. Always make sure your sources are reliable. Love you all much. See you Wednesday in Bible class. Until then, remember to go with God, and God will go with you. God bless you.